And Joe, these guys are going to need one pit stop. I don't know if they can go 42 laps or not on this stint, but I don't think we're going to go caution-free either, so I think they're thinking about that playing into effect as well. Mark Maffett in the 7 on the inside, the 3 of Ryan Lowe on the outside. They continue to go side by side through 3 and 4. We'll see if anybody peels off in this lead group. Nobody within the top 10 this time coming down onto pit road. If I'm the strategist, Joe, I think this is a little bit early. As they do go down the back straightaway, they'll come by pit road this time by. I think that pit stop there might have been a little bit early. I would have thought maybe 15, 16 would have been the opening window for short pitting. But 7 comes by this time, and he's going to lead this field at a corner number 4 and across the start-finish line.
So Maffett still in control of this field. Lowe as his counterpart on the outside, and nobody else coming to the attention of their crews. It looks like those pit stops may have been a little bit precautionary in the fact that they're betting on the fact that you're right. We're going to have some yellow flags. We're going to have a lot of cautions throughout this field, especially towards the end of the race. And maybe they're hoping, just maybe, they can conserve some fuel down the line in order to win this race. Don't look now, but it's 3 wide around the 2 machine. That 2 machine that belongs to 3 wide Daly himself. He's going to try it on the high side for the first time tonight. Not going to go anywhere, though, as everyone else is going to opt to stay 2 lines, and 3 wide Daly will prove that 3 wide's a very lonely place as a 2 goes down the field. So the 7 and 3 continue to lead through this field. The 17 of Michael Van de Sal right behind him. Ryan Lowe, Bruce Metzler in that group as well. As we go down to the field, Alan Bowes, the 6 machine, in position number 7. Dylan Jones in the mix as well. Ryan Borges, Blake Bryant round out your top 10. And then just outside that top group are some names we have heard before in the sim racing world. Guys like Dan Denayer, who's running currently position number 15. That's a 31. Looks like he's having problems on the inside. That 31 belongs to Justin Prater. He was the one that missed the call to take the green flag, so now he is just circling the field as we have a ton of pit stops now on lap number 11. Alan Bowes leads a wholesale group of Logan Clampett, Blake Bryant, Justin Tillall, Cody Griffin's down there, Zach Leonardi, Byron Daly, Edward Birch, Josh Chin, Ian Plash, Lance Desir, Jeremy Olafson, all looking for the exact same thing. No tires for anybody here. Looks like it's going to be fuel only as Byron Daly overshoots his stall.
Might be easier to say, Joe, how many guys did not come down pit road. Mark Maffett leading those guys on the racetrack. About 12 on the racetrack. Everybody else coming down on the pit road on this run. And that's when the pit road window, I thought, would open, Joe, for short pitting around 12 laps or so as they're down to the attention of their crews. We'll see if Maffett and the rest of the field come down. Ryan Lowe, Van Isdal, and here comes a few more behind those top 3. And there's about 6 or 7 peeling off here now, Joe, led by Ryan Borge in the, I believe that's the 10 car.
That is correct. That is a number 10 Chevy Camaro for Borges, Dylan Jones, Chad Anar, Jeff Dukart, Daniel Coleman pulls into his stall early. Justin Prater down there as well. Remember, he's the one who missed the call to action, and he is going to be scored at least a couple laps down. Everybody looking for the same thing. Daniel Coleman, though, going to try something different. He's going to take 4 tires, and he will be the only one to do so. Fuel stop for everyone else. They are back on the track, and now our leader, Logan Clampett, remains on track, and he's got a nice little line behind him.
Yeah, Logan Clampett in the number 1. He knows how to super speedway race, and I think he's going to be strong before the end of this one. Maffett in the number 7 coming by this time, and he'll lead one more peeling off behind him. That's Ryan Lowe, Seth DeMerchant, Dan Denayer, Larry Mulligan, Billy Weeks among them coming down onto pit road. So another handful of drivers taking the opportunity to come down. Weeks will overshoot his box. The 30 is a stop and go for Mulligan. And that will leave, Joe, I believe, only 3 on the racetrack. Maffett, Van Isdal, and Menser in the 27. Those 3 staying out on the racetrack. Maffett, along with Ryan Lowe, have led a majority of the first 14 laps of this thing.
Mulligan down on pit road comes out. Seth DeMerchant comes off pit road. Ryan Lowe, Billy Weeks, Dan Denayer all come off the attention of their crew. And now it's only going to be about 3 or 4 cars that have not pitted yet, including Maffett, Van de Sal, Menser. And if memory serves me right, nope, they're going to come down the pits, the attention of their crews.
Maffick comes back out on the racetrack in car number 7. Behind him is Menser and Vanisdal. So Joe Vanisdal loses a little bit of time on this pit stop, but the field is now going to envelop them, led by Logan Clampett.
That is right. So let's take a look. So for those of you following along at home, let's see where everything shakes down right now. According to the scoring grid, which is about to be changed as they go 3 wide through the field. The 29, the 8, the 20, all 3 wide as well. Everyone's shaking up 4 wide. The 17, the 20, the 11, all 4 wide. Crazy racing at Daytona. You can only do it Daytona. Logan Clampett, your leader, Seth DeMerchant, Ryan Lowen. They're not done 3 wide yet, kids.
It's Logan Clampett, it's Seth DeMerchant, Ryan Lowe, and Zach Leonardi. Great pit stop for the number 25 on the inside, side by side for position number 4.
Logan Clampett up front, Seth DeMerchant, Ryan Lowe. Your top 3 is everyone jockeying for position this time around. Now the 4 and 11 doing a little bit of business back there. That's Josh Filial fighting off the 11 of Joshua Chin. 11 was trying to look for the pass on the outside of the Ford. Not going to happen though, and the 4 and 11 will stand back in line with each other. Don't look now, but that number 6 machine is coming up in a hurry. That's Alan Bowes. He was one of the drivers that came up earlier in the race and made one of the earlier pit stops. Now he's back on the lead, and now he's looking at position number 3, trying to take control of this lead for the first time. Seth DeMerchant right now in control of the field after making that gigantic pass through the field. So this race so far, we decide between the 9 and the 6. So the 9 and 6 continue to do battle side by side. Now it's going to be advantage 6. Bowes has the lead only for a second as DeMerchant will take it back at the start-finish line. We're only 18 laps in, guys. We're not even a halfway through this race, and everybody racing like it is the last lap here at Daytona International Speedway. As we mentioned earlier, some new updates coming to the iRacing sim. The new updates include, but are not limited to, that draft package has been updated once again, and I have to give iRacing a lot of credit for updating this draft package. As you can see, it's creating some really incredible racing throughout the field. It's creating some very tight racing, and everyone's having a lot of fun with it. And if you want to get involved with it, we've got a great deal for you. Go to iRacing.com if you're a new subscriber. Here's what you do. Use our promo code 2015-PSRTV. Buy one month of iRacing. We'll give you 2 free. We'll also throw in the late model as well to get you started on all the oval racing you can handle this summer. That's iRacing.com if you're a new subscriber. Use our promo code 20-15-PSRTV. We'll give you 2 months for the price of 1. 3 months total, I should say, as well as a late model to get you started. Back here on the track, it is the Seth DeMerchant show, but Alan Bowes, confident from his 1 win this season in the NASCAR Big Antifreeze Series, he's trying to make another win here on iRacing Live, on iRacing Night at Daytona International Speedway. Well, that's a mouthful. Alan Bowes continuing to try to challenge for the lead. Dylan Jones behind them in that group. He's a number 8 machine. He's going to try to go 3 wide. He's going to try to see what he can do on the outside, or he might be overheating just a little bit. In any event, the 8 of Dylan Jones going to try the high line. No one helps him out there, and he is going to be high and dry, so score him quite a few positions down until he can get back in line.
3 wide behind them, Joe, the 8 car on the extreme outside going backwards along with the number 21. That's Dylan Jones. The 21 is Ian Plash. There's a super speedway name we haven't heard in a while. Used to run the Verdane Racing League. He knows how to get around the air at one of these super speedways, Joe. He's on the outside, though, and he's outside the top 15 right now, not where he wants to be. Meanwhile, up in front, Seth DeMerchant in car number 9, going to lead this lap. No, it's going to be the 6 of Alan Bowes on the outside with that push from Ryan Lowe. We've seen it before in the NASCAR Big Antifreeze Series. If those two get hooked up, Joe, they're going to be tough to beat.
They're going to be tough to beat. If we get 3 full lines of racing, it's going to make for some very, very scary situations. We've already got 3 lines forming as Joshua Chin is leading a line of his own way up there in the marbles. He's got the 8 behind him. The 8 belongs to Dylan Jones. The 21, that belongs to Ian Plash. The 19 machine of Edward Birch. They're going to try to make a run for the lead, and they might be successful here as the 11, the 6, the 9, all doing business up front, and it looks like advantage 11 from my vantage point. Well, and it will be advantage 11. That is Joshua Chin, and if he can complete the lap, he will be scored the leader. Yes, he does. Score 1 for the high side.
So the Florida driver will go to the lead position, being pushed by Dylan Jones at extreme high side. Joe, that fell back 2 laps ago. It's all the way up to the top of the board now as Chin goes to the middle groove. The 21 of Plash still pushing the 8 of Dylan Jones behind them. It's 3 wide, the 5 car on the inside of Blake Bryant trying to get to the front of the field on that inside line. The 4 is trying to figure out where he wants to go. That's Joshua Filda, and he looks like following the 1 of Logan Clampett on that inside line. 14 in the middle, no place to go. Brian Ammerman trying to give a little push to Josh Chin to get him back to the front, but up in front, it's Alan Bowes in the 6 that's going to lead. Lap number 22 in all green so far.
Low line being the place to be right now, and you can see that low line really working hard. Ian Plash doing everything he can to try to get around the 8, see if he can get down low. Is it going to happen for him? There's a gap opening up. The 19 might let him in. That 19 piloted by Edward Birch. He might let him in. No, he's not. The 4 machine up front's going to take that position. That 4 belongs to Josh Philaw, and Philaw's going to try to join that middle line that's being led by Seth DeMerchant. DeMerchant once again wants to get back in front of this field. He will do it this time by if the 6 of Alan Bowes has nothing to say about it, which I've got a feeling the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series driver is going to have a lot to say about that.
And he's got Alan Lowe tagging along with him, or Ryan Lowe tagging along with him, Alan Bowes in the number 6 car. Going to be at least second, maybe third on that lap. Scored his 3rd. Josh Chin up there in the 11, also pushing Seth DeMerchant, trying to go to the lead position. They're going to come up on a piece of lap traffic. That's Daniel Coleman in the 28. In front of the field as DeMerchant goes to the inside and picks up the 6 of Bowes. There goes Coleman on the outside. Chin trying to get up there, get a little bit of a draft down the back straightaway. Going to help him just a little bit as the field whizzes by. Coleman on the inside of the number 28. DeMerchant continues to lead, but now Josh Chin on the outside with a little push on the 14 of Ammerman, trying to get back to the top spot.
So DeMerchant get fully in control of this field. The 11 of Josh Chin just can't keep up with him. And it looks like he's having a little bit of problems getting the line organized behind him as well. The 14, the 4, the 1. They're all trying to figure out how they can try to pass or which way they want to pass, if they want to use the high side or the low side. Meanwhile, the 9 will cut down to the low side, and DeMerchant will run in front of the 6 of Alan Bowes. The 11, without the horsepower behind him, can't make the pass.
Head 1 driver. Find where your teammates are, trying to figure out who you're going to work well with to get towards the front of the field, and they've got half the race done already. We're halfway, 25 down and 25 to go, and just like that, it's quickly, Joe, coming up to go time where you have to put yourself in a position to try to win this thing. Joshua Chin, Seth DeMerchant, Alan Bowes, Ryan Lowe, they're all in a great position right now. It's those guys at the back of this pack, like a Leonardi or a Jones or an Ian Plash or maybe even a Byron Daly. They got to really start trying to formulate a plan here to get themselves closer to the front of the field as Chin gets a push on the outside.
It's been time to formulate a plan, and guess what? If you don't have a plan, you're going to get passed up in a hurry here, guys. There is no going forward from here. It's only going backwards as the 9 and 11 continue to dogfight for position number 1. In their respective line, nobody really pushing the issue yet. I've got a feeling, though, that's going to change once lap 30 ticks, once lap 40 ticks, once lap 45 ticks. And I hate to be the jinx, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is a storm brewing right here, guys. And if we it'd be a miracle if we don't see a yellow flag. Let's put it that way. They're racing that hard down there, as now the 2 of Byron Daly going to try it on the outside.
You know, I like the 2 and the 21 back there because of Ian Plough's trying to get that outside line going, the extreme outside line working. And Byron Daly, not afraid to do it either. Daly going to have one other car in front of him, and another car pops up to that third groove on the outside as well. So these guys know that works, Joe. It's just a matter of getting enough guys up there that can make that outside groove work. The 19 trying to pinch the 4 down a little bit in the middle of the corner. That's Birch down on the 4 car of Joshua Filwa. The 19 car, a part of the team, and not a whole lot of representation from that team here this evening, but it looks like Birch going to try to put them up to the top of the board here.
And it would be an incredible moral victory, if nothing else, for the team. Remember, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series is done at Daytona. They're not going to come back here this season, but still, it'd be a great moral victory to have the team in victory lane and at NASCAR night for the NASCAR B Series, the Xfinity Series style car, if you will. 3 pony horse up front, the 11, the 19, the 9, side by side. Now the 14 getting real squirrely right there in the middle. You can tell that 14 car is just not comfortable, and Brian Ehrman's got to figure out what he's going to do now that the 3 is going to drop all the way to the apron. He wants out of that hornet's nest before the push comes to shove.
I like Brian Lowe's strategy because this looks bad up in front. Just waiting for somebody to make some sort of wrong move and send all these drivers in a melee. So far, so good for these guys up in front. The 14 in the middle of Ammerman. You got the 11 of Chin in the middle as well. You got the 10 of Borges in the middle. A couple of drivers that know these super speedways, Joe, but it doesn't matter if you have years and years. There it goes right there.
There it goes.
Going around, and that would bring the caution flag out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars involved. The Merchant hard leg. The 6 of Alan Bose takes a hard leg. Oh, and Ammerman gets hit after the fact by somebody who apparently did not decide to slow down. That was Nazir in the 18, and he was at the back of this pack. Caution flag flies, and the Merchant, your leader's involved in it, and so was the last driver in this pack. So that just tells you something about this 18-car pack that we just had.
Good eyes by Ryan Lowe in the 3 machine to make that, to drop out of that field. As we take a look at it one more time, we'll cue up that replay for you. It really starts around the 11 and the 19. The 11 tried to force the issue. The 19 tried to throw the block, and Edward Birch just went around on the bumper of Joshua Chin. The 19 will then get into the 9 of Seth DeMerchant. Alan Bose nowhere to go. Just go T-bones that number 19 machine, and then it just trickles down from there. The 5 machine gets involved. That's Blake Bryan. He gets involved. The 25, the 24, the 1 all get a piece of it as well. The 13 of Dan Denayer able to avoid it a little bit, but a lot of big junk out there. A lot of guys are going to be hitting the hauler early as a result of this incident. And what was about a 29-car field, Tim, I've got a feeling was going to be cut at least in half.
Yeah, there were 22 cars in that lead draft, and just for this one, Byron Daly is scored as your leader. The last lap by, before that wreck was triggered, he was scored at the start-finish line in position number 5. 9 car going to come back up here. DeMerchant may get the lead back here or may be scored somewhere up here, depending where the sim does score him. But Byron Daly was in 5th, Joe, and the last time by the stripe he was scored as the leader. Sure, some of these drivers are going to have to come down and get their cars massaged. If you're Byron Daly, I like your track position up in front of this field. The 9 car at DeMerchant, I would believe, Joe, is going to come down pit road here with 20 laps to go. Here comes the 9. Here comes, I believe that's the 18 back there, or the 8 of Dylan Jones. And a lot of others that do not have damage or think they can go the rest of the way without repairing their cars, staying out in the racetrack here.
So here's who's staying out on the track. Byron Daly, who is currently scored as your leader, will stay out on track. Ian Plash, Josh Chin, who is involved in that incident, will stay out on track. Josh Felaw, Logan Clampett, Daniel Coleman, all staying out on track. And then a handful of guys coming down pit road. Cody Griffin, I believe, is one of them. Justin Parader, Trent Ringler, Matthew Davis, Bruce Menser, Mark Maffitt, Dylan Jones, Michael Vandesal. Looks like they all came down pit road in intention of their crews. And something I'm interested about, Tim, I believe a couple of these guys stopped for tires Now, we don't talk about tires a whole lot at these super speedways. We don't talk about them because they are a non-factor, especially at a sprint race like this, 50 laps. You know somebody had to come down for tires. You know somebody came down and at least put 2 tires on. How much is that going to help them in the late stages of this race?
I don't know if it's going to help them, Joe, as much as you're down on pit road, you have time to put them on. Why not put them on and, you know, give your crew, virtual crew, a little something to do when you're down there massaging that car and repairing the virtual damage to get it back out on the racetrack. We had a week off here last week on PSR TV, iRacing Live, the entire network. But next week, we are going to hit the NASCAR iRacing Class B Series once again. I believe, Joe, they're headed to Kentucky. So we go from this big 2.5-mile superspeedway to Kentucky, which provides some great racing with this car. I'm excited to go there. And then the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series returns the week after that. Their midsummer break. And it's, when you look at it, it's about a month that those guys are off. It's a little bit of a reset. But, Joe, does anybody have anything for Kenny Humpy?
That is a very good question that we're going to see played out at the very end of the season. I mean, when you look at the tracks that we have coming up, places like Kentucky, you've got the road race coming up for the second annual year. In the second half of the season, we have a lot of tracks that favor a lot of other drivers out there. But Kenny Humpy and the team have proven they can pretty much win wherever they want. I think Kentucky's going to be an incredible test for everybody involved. But that being said, don't count out the rest of the field just yet.
Couple of drivers involved in this one. Justin Prater on pit road, Alan Bowes, Zach Leonardi, and Lance Nasir among them. And I believe Alan Bowes has the ears on down on pit road. Alan, what'd you see?
I didn't see much until I was spinning out in the grass. It's kind of a surprise. I really don't know what happened. But we had a good car. I felt like we were able to do quite a bit with it. We stayed up toward the front for most of the race, and it's a shame to get taken out like that, but, you know, stuff happens in racing.
For seeing this draft package for the first time myself, 2-3 wide racing, you can use the outside line, and the outside line goes to the front of the field. From a driver's perspective, how is this draft package in this Class B car?
It's pretty hectic, but iRacing definitely got it right. It's a lot of fun. You can use the whole track. As far as previous builds go, this one's just miles better than any other build that I've ever driven on.
So looking forward here next week, NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series off. We're going to see you play a little bit with the Kentucky Speedway with this car?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get myself back to the championship for the Open, but I've got quite a bit of ground to make up, so we'll see if I can do it. But I will be here next week.
Now, I know you were working with Ryan Lowe. Ryan is now behind the 8-ball, sitting in position number 15. There's only 16 laps to go. We go green. Do you think that 3 car can get back up to the front?
I don't think so. He told me that he got a black flag for some reason, so he has to pit on the green. So, I'm really hoping that number 21 to be in flash and take it to victory lane.
And he's one of those guys that loves these super speedways. Before we let you go, Alan, anybody else you want to say hello to before we send this thing back green?
I just got to thank everybody over at Dead Zone Racing. They've put together a great piece. I got to thank John Dragonetti. He's been on the car for the entire peak season and the open season. RAR Chevette and Checker Flag Interactive. Got to thank those guys. And, you know,
And that's Alan Bowes, and Joe, not the way he wanted to finish his night at Daytona, but he's got a couple of horses in this race. He mentioned Ian Plash. I said earlier, I like the way that number 21 driver works this air. I think Alan's on to something here.
I think he is too. I mean, Ian Plash is no stranger to this kind of racing. He's no stranger to super speedway race. He's no stranger to the iRacing sim, and if anything, I believe this update has really changed the way he runs. I think this update has benefited him and has benefited the opportunities that he creates for himself to run at these super speedways. So we'll find out if my prognostication is true as the green flag flies once again. Daily Flash on the front row. They cross the start-finish line, and we've got 16 to go, Tim.
Might have caught it at the back end of the field. Ryan Lowe just came down on the pit road to serve that black flag, so he is going to be behind the 8 ball, and he's going to need a caution to catch him back up to this field. 16 laps to go as we work side by side through corners number 1 and 2. The 4 of Philwa pushing the 21 of Ian Plash, the 11 of Josh Chin on the inside with Byron Daly. Those two have worked together before, Joe. The 11 of Chin, the 2 of Daly, maybe about to meet here when push comes to shove at the end of this.
But look who's on the outside, though. Ian Plash on the outside. He knows how to run these races, and he's got a couple more horses than the 2 does right now. 4 cars on the outside line and counting, 3 cars on the inside line. If he can get that push behind him, which he does not as the 4 and 26 abdicate to the low line, if the 21 can get some help, he might be the guy to... Right now, though, Byron Daly is the man up front.
Byron Daly, the inside line, is the one to beat right now. It's bringing Logan Clampett along with them. And I believe the 4 is also going to be in tow. 3 wide behind them, the 26 on the inside of Cody Griffin. Going to pick up 1 as it looks like the 14 of Ammerman going to go a lap down here as the field rumbles by down the back straightaway. The 21 car Plash now in the middle and going the opposite way. He's going backwards as Trent Ringler in the 12 now to the outside. And it doesn't look like he has a whole lot of help behind him, Joe. A little bit of a disconnection between himself and the car behind him. About 3 car lengths or so between himself and Matthew Davis.
It's only a matter of time, though, and I'll tell you why. These guys have cold tires right now. These guys are running on cold equipment because of the caution flag that slowed everybody down. And while these guys are on cold tires, they're going to try to run in single file, do what they can to get them heated up once again. Once we see some heat in those tires, once we see a little bit of steam run up in them, then we're going to have them run.
You look at Byron Daly up in front, the 2, the 11, the 1 of Logan Clampett. They've been here before. They know how to run a super speedway race. They know the strategy, and especially with this new build, that we're seeing some racing from days gone by, I want to say, Joe, because we've seen so many races like this in previous builds in previous years in this iRacing service play where we have 2 and 3 wide racing, and your strategy coming down those last couple laps means so much. Got 1 on the wall here on the front straightaway.
We have 1 in the wall in the front straightaway, but that's going to keep it. He's not going to get in the way or anything, so we're going to keep green flag racing out on the field. And I didn't catch a number of that one, Tim. That was on not in the wall. I'm told to say 21. That might be Jeremy Olofsson that might have been involved. No. Tim, which one did you see out there?
That's the 20 of Jeff Dukart, the yellow car that just got into the wall out of the tri-oval, or in the middle of the tri-oval. Had a little bit of help, I believe, from behind him. But whatever the case may be, Joe, he's going to need a caution in order to have any sort of chance to catch up and have a battle for the victory here. Meanwhile, up in front, Josh Chin has gone to the outside of Byron Daly. He's got help from the 21 of Ian Plash. Plash was going to the back a couple of laps ago, Joe, and now he's back up front, pushing Josh Chin to at least lead position, or that's the goal, to get that 11 car back up to the lead. But look at the 1 of Logan Clampett on the inside. Clampett wants a piece of it too. He's pushing Daly back out to the front.
11 laps to go when we cross the start-finish line, and it's starting to thicken up around here. The 21 now is going to go to the outside. He's going to try to leave Chin all by himself. So now it's 3 wide going into turns number 3 and 4, and 21 has the advantage. Can he hold on, though, and fold off the 11? That's the $64,000 question.
They're 3 wide stacked, 3 deep behind your top 2 now. Ian Plash on the extreme high side, Seth the Merchant in car number 9, and Joe, he was one of the players that was involved in that first big regular race on lap number 31, and the Merchant is now a part of this battle to the outside that he goes, and he's got the 21 in front of him. Behind him, he's got the number 31, the 31 pushing towards the front of the field as well, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the 31 car is at least 1 lap down, so he's trying to play spoiler here.
He might be trying to play spoiler, but anything can happen in Daytona with 11 laps to go. The one blew up. The one blew up. That could have created more problems down the line. Everyone's able to save it, but the one of Logan Clampett, his night is done. His engine popped, and now that's going to create some problems down the field as everyone scattered to try to get away from it. That creates a lot of division now for the top 9, who are all fighting for position.
Under those green flag stops, Trent Ringler was one of the first down on the pit road, and he is now to the back bumper of Byron Daly trying to steal a win here at Daytona. 10 laps remaining on the super speedway, and Chin on the outside trying to get a little help from the 15 car to get himself to the front of the field. The 8, the 21, and the 4 are 3 wide behind them for position number 5. And it looks like the 31 car falling back a little bit as well. That lap car trying to push the 21 on the outside.
21's going to get a huge push from the 31 machine, and now it's a 4-course battle for the lead. Once again, the 2 of Byron Daly holding down the low line really well, but Josh Chin and Ian Flash doing everything they can on the outside, and here comes Flash. That setup's now starting to come to life with 9 to go as the 11, the 21, the 2, all getting ready to do business at Vantage Flash.
Ian Flash on the outside line trying to take it away. The 31 pushing him. The 11 a Chin. And on the inside, Byron Daly got the 9. A Seth the Merchant involved in this as well. They all whiz by Ryan Lowe in car number 3 on the inside. We've got a 7-car battle for the lead up in front. You had the 31 as the spoiler up in there. Josh Chin going to lead them down into corner number 3. But it's going to be 3 wide, and it's going to be Daly on the inside, picking up the lead in the middle of the corner with a little help from the 12 as he goes up the racetrack. We are about to stack him up once again, and there they go. 8 or 9 cars involved behind. Caution flag will fly, and the 12 and the 2, we're close. We'll see who gets that lead, but Joe, there you go. Half the field, gone again.
Once again, it's easier to tell you who wasn't involved as opposed to who was involved in that situation. Basically, everyone beyond the 11 of Josh Chin, yeah, they caught a piece of, or take that 15 back, well, the 15 of Matt Davis. Everyone behind him, yeah, they caught a piece of that, and that's gonna do just that. It's gonna have the field once again, and there's gonna be a lot of cars now that are out of contention. Like Ian Flash, we both said was a favorite to win this race here. He's going to be out of it, and now what you're going to have is probably about a 4-lap dash for the cash between about 6 different cars. What a crazy way to end this race, Tim.
It's the nature of the beast at Daytona, Talladega. These super speedways always provide some thrilling racing, 2 and 3 wide, but then you see that one little mistake spark off everything behind them. It's great for Byron Daly. It's great for Trent Ringler, Josh Chin, and those guys that avoided it. Those guys behind are probably going to visit their pit crews. And more than likely, Joe, for some of them, Chad Harner, I believe, was one of them, with a lot of smoke rolling from his race car. He probably will not revisit the racing surface again. He'll probably be done for the evening. Top 3, 4, 5, or 6 stay out on the racetrack. I believe the first one down on pit road, maybe Cody Griffin in the 26 car, and indeed he will lead the 17 of Van Isdal down on pit road for a little bit of service to their race car late in this one.
So here's who's left contending for the win. Byron Daly, who's been dominant on the low side, he's position number 1. Trent Ringler second. Josh Chin third. Matt Davis fourth. Josh Fielaw in the top 5. Jeremy Olesen, Larry Mulkin will be out there as well. Jeff Dukart will be in that group as well. And now you see the 3 machine. That's Ryan Lowe. He was 1 lap down. He will be the lucky dog this time by. So Ryan Lowe could now be a dark horse in this, Tim.
Yeah, I think he might very well be. Ryan Lowe in car number 3 getting the wave by, and with a lot of those drivers that are damaged there, Joe, he definitely does stand a chance here in these remaining laps. Do not count out Ryan Lowe. Anything can happen here if Byron Daly, Josh Chin get the pushing. Anybody that's on this lead lap could very well end up winning this thing. The Daytona Super Speedway so far this evening provided some great 2 and 3 wide racing. And Alan Bowes mentioned it, hats off to iRacing, because this product is fun to watch, and I'm sure it's even more fun to drive. If you're on this service, head over to, or you're not on the service, head over to iRacing.com and get signed up. Get this Class B car, get it on the Daytona International Speedway, because this draft model looks really, really fun to drive.
Tim, we might have to dust off our own wheels and play with this model, because it just looks like everyone out there is having a blast, and with these open setups, it looks like they have just absolute control of their cars here at Daytona.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch 2 and 3 wide racing, and it's always exciting when you're in those virtual race cars to get up on the wheel and work with some drivers you might not have worked with in the past. Lap 45 being worked on the board, and the lights are still on. You see a couple of more drivers pulling off at pit road, including the 7 of Mark Maffin, who was strong early in the race. Justin Prater, that 31 car that was pushing a couple of lead lap cars up in front, trying to get back to the front. Dylan Jones, Daniel Coleman, among those just barely getting off pit road before the pace car put a lap on them. So Byron Daly and Trent Ringler, and Trent was one of those drivers. He's up there in the point standings. I believe he's still leading the series. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. He's been up front for a number of weeks in this NASCAR iRacing Class B Open Division. He was one of the first to peel off to come down to pit road on that green flag round of pit stops. He was behind the 8 ball in that run, but now he's up to second and has a shot at winning this thing.
One driver who would rather be running out there under this green flag as opposed to watching it all happen is Ian Plash, one of the favorites to win it, joining us now from pit road. And Ian, just what happened from your position out there, buddy?
Man, I tell you what, I had an absolute blast this race, regardless of the outcome. You saw some pretty good solid racing, working the third lane, really making some moves out there. It was nice to be out there, get back in the saddle again, and really tussle with the best of the best. But no, it just looks like we had some lag issues going on. It looks like the 12 lagged up into the 11 pinballed up into me as a causing effect, and I was just in the worst place you could possibly be. No bad blood with anybody, it happens when you have a little bit of sort of lag every once in a while. It's just what tends to happen. But all in all, it was a great race. I had a lot of fun. I miss doing this.
Ian, tell us real quick, as they line up double file, lights are off, lights should go off this time by, one more to go. Ian, tell us real quick about your perspective of this new draft model. It really looked like, number one, you were having fun with it, and number two, you were really getting in groove with it, like as if it really suited your driving style very well.
Oh, absolutely. I've always been more lenient towards that third lane, especially when you have like the side drive being as powerful as it is right now, and it seems like they got rid of that little parachute effect you get every once in a while, and you get stuck on that third line when you got a little too high up, and it really slowed you down to get 10 miles an hour. So I'm absolutely loving the feel of this thing. It feels great. It races fantastic, especially at Talladega as well, where you have a little bit more room to do the 3 wide. But I'm sure it's a fantastic show. I can't wait to go back and watch it, and I had an absolute blast.
Real quick, Ian, where are we going to see you racing in the iRacing sim?
Nothing really major going on for the next couple of months here. No leagues, no nothing. Just kind of doing my own thing. Racing official every once in a while. But be on the lookout this August. Draft Masters 300. Look us up on YouTube. Big event coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully we have you in the booth, Joe. It'd be pretty cool, actually.
Well, Ian, you and I go back quite a ways, and you know where to find me. That's Ian Plash, who will finish this race towards the end of the field. Tim, they're lining up double file. Looks like we're going to get ready to go green flag racing in just 2 turns.
So you got Trent Ringler on the outside, you're going to have Matthew Davis behind him, and then on the inside you're going to have Byron Daly and Josh Chin, 2 drivers who have worked together in the past. This is going to be exciting coming down to the end. We're going to have a restart with 4 laps remaining. If a caution does come out, it's likely going to end the race. So if you're up front, you're going to get everything that you can. If you're back there beyond the top 5 or so, you're going to push even harder to get to the front of this field. The iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car on the pit road. Field in command of Byron Daly, and he puts the loud pedal down. Green flag back out. The 11 of Josh Chin has a little bit of a disconnect between himself and the 2 of Byron Daly, about a half car length, but they'll all accordion back together as they drive down towards corner number 1.
The 11 giving a shove to the 2, going into turn number 1, saying, hey, buddy, I'm right here. Let's go do some racing. As the 12, nowhere to go for him. That 12 being piloted by Trent Ringler. He's going to step back as the 11. The 4, now the 4 is going to force the issue. 4 and 12 make contact on the back stretch, and now they're back in single file racing.
12 of Ringler on the outside. That's not the place where he wants to be. He's going to pick up the number 30 of Mulligan, the 15 of Davis also on the outside, but it lets the 22 car of Olesen get on the inside. I don't think we talked about Jeremy all evening long, and now he's in the top 5, working on position number 4, and possibly at position number 3 as he's got the 4 car in front of him at Wrangler, trying to fight back on the outside line. Meanwhile, up front, Byron Daly trying to play both lanes. Josh Chin now stuck in the middle.
Stuck in the middle as the 12 comes on his bumper. 4's getting loose, though. 4 may be in trouble. He's able to save it. Josh Fielaw saves it, but it's going to cost him some position. In trouble once again as he makes invasive maneuvers off to the outside. Good news is he'll save it. Bad news is he's going to start falling way, way back. Daly, Josh Chin, side by side with 4 to go. 3 to go.
Josh Chin on the outside. Trent Ringler in the 12 pushing him. And the 22 of Olofsson to the back bumper of Byron Daly. They roar at a corner number 4 this time by. They'll come by to complete lap number 48 and see 2 laps to go. The 11 of Josh Chin in position number 2 at the stripe to Byron Daly. Daly trying to wrap this thing up. And Joe, he's had a horrible NASCAR Big Antifreeze Series season. He's trying to reverse a little bit of this luck here tonight.
Nothing reverses luck like a win on iRacing Night, on iRacing Live, and all of our affiliates, including Fans Choice TV and Motor Racing Network, and several others out there. So this would be a huge boon for him. Even if it's not NASCAR Big Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing race, it's still a big race for him to win as he continues to run up front. 22 and 11 make contact. All it's going to take is 1 contact, and this race is over.
But Josh Chin is trying to get that side draft to try to get up here and suck up to the leader. White flag is out last lap. Byron Daly in car number 2 is going to try to make 2.5 miles, come back around here and win on iRacing Night. Easier said than done, though. The 11 of Josh Chin on the outside with help from Trent Ringler. In the number 12, the point leader in the NASCAR iRacing Class B Open Series, trying to push the 11 car to the win on the outside line. Olofsson on the inside pushing the 2 of Byron Daly. There goes Ringler to the inside of Josh Chin. He wants to win this race himself, being pushed by the 26 of Cody Griffin. Does he have enough steam to get up to the outside of Byron Daly? Daly looking good through 3 and 4. Chin falls back behind the 26. They're trying to get something going. Daly to the extreme outside. They're going to wreck at a corner number 4. Daly going to slide it onto pit road, and they're going to come across the line, Joe. Daly's not going to win it. It's going to be Josh Chin scored as your winner.
What in the world did I just watch him? Literally every car that was battling for the lead crashed out before the start-finish line. What just happened?
Well, I can tell you that Josh Chin just won this race, and I'm sure we're going to look at the replay, and you know what, Joe? Let's be honest. Josh Chin in that lead pack was the only car that did not wreck. I had my eye on Byron Daly on the inside, trying to see if he was going to slide across and win this race like one of those former Daytona 500 finishes with Richard Petty and David Pearson. But it wasn't to be for Byron Daly. Josh Chin goes through the smoke. When he came out of corner number 4, Joe, he was sitting in position number 6. We didn't think he had a chance to win this thing, but you got to remember, it's the Daytona International Speedway.
Anything can happen, as was proven here tonight. So unofficially, the way it stands, Joshua Chin, your winner. The 3 of Ryan Lowe slid to second in the infield, past the start-finish line sideways, and just in front of the 15 of Matthew Davis, who was also involved in that incident. The rest of the field, Billy Weeks, Josh Fielaw, Adam Burley, Trent Ringler, Larry Malkin, and Jeremy Olofsson and Edward Birch, your top 10. Mark Maffitt, Michael Van de Sal, Seth DeMerchant, Dylan Jones, Daniel Coleman, your top 15. Only 3 more drivers finish on the lead lap, and that includes Byron Daly, who was devastated by that accident. Cody Griffin, Dan Denayer, all technically finish on the lead lap, and then 6 looks like a handful of other drivers, nearly half the field, will not finish this race under the lead lap.
Joe, your second place driver, Ryan Lowe, slid through the grass to take position number 2 by a half second behind your winner, Joshua Chin. We're going to step away for just a few moments' time. We'll set up for the post-race show where we'll talk to your top 5 finishers. Don't go away. Truex on the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy. Welcome back to iRacing Night in the NASCAR iRacing Class B Open Xfinity Style Series race cars. You just saw a wild finish to the race at the Daytona International Speedway. Josh Chin comes from position number 6, coming out of corner number 4 to win the thing. We'll talk to Josh Chin in just a moment, but Joe Cortez has caught up with one of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series drivers who slid across the grass, takes second place at the end of that run.
Ryan Lowe slides to the grass, finishes second. Ryan, I want to talk about a couple strategy moves you made in just a minute, but first, walk us through that incredibly crazy finish.
Well, I mean, I got the waiver on, and I took the restart at the back of the field with 5 to go, and I honestly just never lifted through that wreck when I finally caught the pack, and all I know is I came out second, and I just tried not to hit the pit cone to, get disqualified and finish tail end of the lead lap, so it was crazy. I really don't know what happened, but you can bet it, man. I was screaming so loudly after that.
I think we could hear you all the way up here in the broadcast booth. Earlier in the race, you made a critical move as everyone was going 3 wide. You backed off, went down the double yellow line, and gave up a lot of position. That obviously helped you. What was the rationale behind it, aside from don't wreck?
Well, I mean, that was a major part, but I've been in so many situations like that I've come to know that you can only run like that for so long before, what you said, the wreck happened. So I just backed out, and lucky enough, like 2 or 3 laps later they did. And I was far enough back, not to get collected in it all. But, I mean, this draft model is awesome. You can do anything and everything with it, and I honestly think it provides the best racing for us.
Finally, let's talk about this draft model. It's a brand new draft model, just introduced this last week by iRacing. How much fun has this model been?
It's been a blast. It's fun to be back in the pack again and everything. I mean, to draft models, there's always pros and cons. I think I like the 2-car tandem a little better because you can move everywhere and not get caught in the lines and, just get held up in the pack. But pack racing's up there with the 2-car tandem. It's just really fun to just be 3 wide all the way across and have fun with the guys.
Real quick, Ryan, good run tonight. Where are we going to find you on iRacing?
Thank you.
Okay, that's for Ryan Lowe finishing second. Let's go to Tim Terry in victory lane with our winner, Josh Chin.
It's been a long time since I've been able to do this. Josh Chin, a winner here on iRacing Night, but you were 6th coming out of corner number 4. How did you win this thing?
A lot of dumb luck. I don't even know how that all really managed to unfold, but I got really lucky to not get taken out on the wreck and make it through to the finish.
And throughout that race, though, the 11 was one of the constants up in front. It looked like this thing, he had a pretty good setup underneath it.
Oh, yeah, it was really fast. Got to thank Tanner Stoops, Doy Woods. They put together a really, really fast car, and we had the pace to go out there and lead it. Started getting a little bit of damage, so it was a little bit tougher, but Byron was on the same setup, and he was obviously running really well before all that transpired out of turn 4.
So what have you been doing now on iRacing? We've seen you at the Indy 500, darn near won that race. You win here on iRacing night. What's next for Josh Chin?
It's a good question. I don't know. It's like it might be the 6 hours of the Glen next weekend, maybe, but otherwise, there's nothing really definite in the cards right now.
You've been doing a little bit of real-world racing, at least, you know, getting out there and putting King of Chins on the map, right?
Yeah, well, a little bit of rental go-kart, but I got a nice video from GoPro Motorplex of a little 600 a couple weeks ago. That was fun. And headed out to Daytona this weekend as well for the 400. So that'll be fun. Just, you know, get the name out there a little bit more.
Well, we wish you all the best and congratulations on your win here tonight on iRacing Night.
Thank you. Thank you guys for the broadcast.
And I believe Joe Cortez has caught up with our 5th place finisher here this evening, and once again, he had to slip slide his way to the finish of this one.
Josh Field started 8th on this field, finishes 5th. And Josh, just from where you were in the number 4 machine, walk us through that crazy ending.
Oh, dude, that was a blast, huh? It was really difficult getting through all those cars. I knew something was going to happen with the way we had been racing and all that crazy 3-4 wide action. I knew something was going to happen come to the end there, and I made a mistake with 3 to go, and I was just pretty mad at myself, so I said, you know what? We're just going to cold trickle this thing, and we're going to get through it, and it ended up working for us.
That it did. It seemed like everyone was having fun with this brand new model tonight. What made this model so special? It's a new update by iRacing, but everyone seems to be enjoying it. What made it so special for you tonight?
I mean, you can actually work the draft. You don't really have to rely on somebody else. You can sort of control your own destiny now, and the side draft's a lot better. You can use it to your advantage. And it really kept the lines together until you hit that wall of air in the front. So it's really realistic. iRacing did what they needed to do with that draft model right there. It was really fun to race with. And I hope they keep it this way for a long time because, oh my gosh, that was some epic racing.
That was definitely some epic racing out there. 5th place finish here tonight on iRacing Live at Daytona. How do you build on this? Where are you going to build on this in the iRacing sim next?
I don't know. I'll take it and take it as a token of confidence, I guess. I haven't really done it to be open. I've just been lingering in the back with Dead Zone and just chilling with them. But I decided to actually get on the track today, and I really enjoyed it. I may have to do some more.
Well, we'll certainly look forward to seeing you here on the track some other time for the iRacing B-Class Open Series later on for iRacing Night. That is Josh Phelan. He finished 5th tonight here at Daytona. Tim, and the consensus is that everyone loves this new model. Everyone loves this new draft package that iRacing has built, has put together for the drivers and for the fans out here, and I don't think they're wrong. We saw some incredible racing here tonight, and if what we saw here is any indication of what we're going to see in 2 weeks when the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series comes back through, we're going to have some incredible racing when we go back green flag racing for when the money and pride is on the line.
Yeah, we're going to see a little more exciting racing, I'm sure, with that NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. But as you mentioned, Joe, we still got some Class B racing to cover, and we're going to cover some more of it. Coming up next week, Kentucky Speedway. This draft model was exciting. This race, 2-3 wide racing, I think Kentucky is going to be fun as well when we hit it on iRacing Live and all of our affiliates, fanschoice.tv, the Motor Racing Network, and the rest coming up 1 week time here on the iRacing Live platform at the Kentucky Speedway, and then the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series returns the week after that. Racing every Tuesday night here on iRacing Live. That's going to do it for us here this evening. So for Tim Terry, Joe Cortez, Ian Bushing, Chuck Johnson, Zach, the rest of the broadcast crew in the PSR TV studio, we'll see you next week when we say let's go racing from the Kentucky Speedway. Keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.